Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
So, welcome back. I request all the panelists to join for the panel discussion of the session on day 3 of the World Parliament on Spirituality Asia chapter. The panel discussion is about the path of self mastery. To begin with, our first presenter, Sadhguru Mangesh Daji. Sir, you have been a Kriya Yogi, a practitioner, and taught so many people about Kriya Yoga across the world. I have a question about the self mastery from the perspective of Kriya Yoga, which is normally defined as Tapaswadhyaya Ishwar Pranidhana. While tapas is a sharirak walk, tapas, the tapa, the intensity, the mano walk sharir tapas, and also the practice of swadhyaya. How to combine these three seemingly different, seemingly it appears they appear to be different because tapas is all about intensity inside, swadhyaya is something else, Ishwar Pranidhana is something else. How do you combine these three entities from the perspective of Kriya Yoga to awaken the people or inspire the people, enter the path of self mastery? How do you combine? How do you see the greatness of this trinity, combined practice of these three entities? How do you see that?
Yes, I basically see this that what three aspects you said they are same. They are not different. Without body, we cannot achieve everything. So the body is anyway is visible. Kriya Yoga is Kri and Ya, the two aspects. Kri is basically awakening the soul. As in my speech also I said that the soul is leading the mind, so the mind should be trained. Everything, all the thoughts, views, everything because of our mind, what we get. And the most important part is the fuel inside, that is our breath. So it is basically when we practice, we have to give justice to all three aspects. When I take one single breath, I should understand that this breath is coming from the universe and his omnipresence is there. This is a gift to me. With each breath, if I contemplate that this is because of you, and then automatically my mindfulness starts. Because mind has a common tendency to wonder. Mind always analyze. But to be there, when we see that, when this entire body is like a temple and you are staying there, I don't need to search outside. So the self purification start with this mindfulness. Second aspect is it is the bhakti yoga. It is the feeling of, it is a chemical process rather, that if I feel always you witness something which is happening everywhere you are there. So my tamasi part reduces. I see from this angle everybody, aham brahmasmi, I am existing everywhere. So whatever is happening, I am a part of it. I am not separate. When we discriminate, we separate, then this duja bhav starts. So the love is basically a very common. This feeling of Atma, somewhere Atma, Paramatma. We are all one. Each breath, the technical part of this Kriya Yoga, how to achieve it, and to achieve this basically in between there is a barrier called emotions. We have only four emotions: anger, fear, sadness, and the fourth one is happiness. Three negative emotions, they dominate this happiness because we expect so much from everybody. So Swadhyay is basically my attitude has to be changed. The emotion should be there because we are not robots. And when I look from this perspective to everywhere, then I understand the same feelings are with everybody here. As we see, all are human being first, then they are representing whichever religion they are. Technical level of this breath, how the breath is reaching to all three levels. Because when we reduce the frequency of breath and the two inhalation exhalation merge at one place, that time automatically the mind stop thinking because there is no fuel, there is no food for the mind. This is called the stillness of the mind related to the samadhi level. This stillness, to achieve this stillness, one has to be specifically doing again. It is a repetition of doing something. There should be some challenges. It is all are different people, different walk of the people, different experience they have taken, and that is why be alone is a different concept and to be with everybody is another concept. We have to merge both the things together with a beautiful blend of this love. Then it is possible that yes, three things will get merged. We should not separate them. They are one. They are a part of this one part of Kriya Yoga. Thank you.
Guruji, thank you very much for these wonderful insights about seemingly apparent things like that. Tapaswadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidhana, when deep down they're all one and the same. Herewith, I have another question. You see, Kriya means action. And when we see meditation as practice of spirituality, of going within, which is basically not a doing but being. We cannot do meditation, but we can be in meditative state of consciousness. All types of doings cannot take one within. It is a beingness that is more important than doingness. So when Kriya means action, which clearly defines that it is something to do, when we try to do something, pratikriya also emerges, the reaction also emerges. When we try to get into action, reaction also immediately opposes. There will be force of resistance. There will be force of gravitation. There will be force of anchoring and tethering one down. So many people say that it is neither kriya nor pratikriya, but prakriya, that is process. The process of going within is more important than kriya and pratikriya. How do you explain this?
Good one, Yugandhar. That is the whole thing is same. To be there, one has to process for to be there, and that process is Kriya. The pratikriya is definitely there, and this is exactly the spiritual practice. The kriya and the pratikriya in between, that prakriya is the technique of how to reach to be there. What is basically the meditation part is not doing anything. So when yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and the samadhi, to reaching to the samadhi stage, even the meditation has to be resolved. Meditation also, because meditation we are observing something without reacting anything, so the mind is still on. That on mind should be again diffused with merging something. So Kriya Yoga Dhyana technique is itself, then you reach to certain level. After the certain level, there is no intellect. There is nothing which doing something, which is the oneness with somewhere. And that oneness is basically to be there as if something which is happening. We are not struggling to get it happen. So this is a process. And that is why the sadhana is continuously. Otherwise, if it is a one-line story, then in a one line itself somebody would have achieved to that level, isn't it?
Thank you very much, Sadhguruji. I have another question based upon some of the pointers we have given about the Ashtanga Marga, the Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. No, all these words like dhyasa, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, all these four words have something called as dhi, which came from Sanskrit dhru, that means holding. The more you hold, the more you go deeper. So dhyasa, the attention, dharana, the sustained attention, dhyana, the meditative consciousness, and samadhi, the equanimity consciousness.
जा रहा हूँ मैं
So when all these entities came from Guru, one single entity, all these only differ only in degree, but not in its nature of consciousness. So when dharana turns into dhyana, dhyana turns into samadhi, they're all only different in degree of understanding, degree of convergence, degree of oneness within, degree of the union of everything that is fractured within. So all the fractured or fragmented bits of consciousness need to be united so as to reach this samadhi state. So when all these things are same but different only in degree, how can a seeker practice
खेली लो
pratyahara, the internalize of consciousness, and moves forward
तुम्हारे सब
towards
ठीक हो जी दुबले उबले क्यों हुए भाई खाने पीने छोड़ दिया क्या तुमने हैं
it is like that. Then when this yama niyam asana the bahirangas and they are merging with these antarangas, somewhere we have to introspect by doing spirituality. How long doesn't matter. It is not the basically how many years somebody is spending. The attitude should be changed. So Rishi Patanjali very beautifully merged these two lines of this Bahiranga which is outside when we are dealing. It is basically yama and the niyama. Some of the basic rules of the attitude how to change. The transformation will not come in some a few days. It has to be molding part. I'm molding my mind. I'm understanding it, my purpose. So this practice is connected with this Svadhyaya. The mind setup is being changed. It is a weaving. Basically, it is a weaving a dharana, dhyana, samadhi. What happened initial stage? There are, I feel, the people they only think about the survival issues. So the mind is only involved with the survival, and they become desperate to get that. The selfish motive is only mine, only mine. And what about the others? You know, the broader angle, the broader perspective of this change here in this two part of yam and the niyam. Posture, definitely asana, which is the part, and I'm talking about the bahiranga, that I consider, this is my feeling, the God has given the beautiful body. Why I should spoil? People many times ask me, you're practicing 52, 53 years, how old you are? And I always say I'm 1,000-year-old, and like you also, 1,000-year-old. We are all 1,000 years old. So many births we are experiencing. So the transformation in so many births we have reached. That is why on this platform we are talking about spirituality. Why everybody is not talking? Their mind setup is different. They're always thinking about the future, what I will get, how I will get. So when this whole changes has occurred so many births, and now a person reaches to now what next? I am not only somebody's mother, father, sister, not in within these four corners, four walls. Beyond that, my purpose of the life. Then the dharana starts. Somewhere I have to focus. How to focus is whatever tradition, whatever methodology which I use, it is a fine which is suits to everyone. And when they start progressing, then they become more focused. It is basically looking, then somebody is observing, second level, and when third one is a focus part, absolutely focused. This is the direction, this direction I should lead my life. Meditation, why it is a last and not the first or second? Because meditation part comes when we start observing what is happening around. We normally critique. Somebody is wrong, somebody is that, somebody is like this. I always feel that who is not doing well, who is doing some wrong thing, is giving a sacrifice for our knowledge what we should not do it. And how to get from that? Unless criticizing, introspection where I stand first. And then that Atma Chintana start. The Atma Chintana rather than the Chinta is gone. The Chinta was there only what will happen, what will happen, what will happen. Now the person, the Kriyaban, the sadhak is not peeping into the future, or rather not thinking about the past, learning from the past. The educational part start by self-practicing it. And that self practice leads towards the self realization. So these are the process, this is the progress, and here comes the guru's, a friend's role, how, which direction we should go it. That's the way. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Guruji. And there are several spiritual beings, there are several spiritual masters across the world. We don't find a single country where there is no spiritual mastery. Everywhere it is there. In their own way, in the indigenous way. And different pockets of wisdom have been there, be it Australia, be it Europe, South and North Americas, Africa and Asia. Every country has got their own indigenous spiritual beings. Because spirituality is something which cannot be confined to only one place, and it is there everywhere since time immemorial in their own way. How do you think, what are your opinions on how is it possible for this united consciousness? Is it possible for the unity consciousness will really going to be initiated, is going to sustained? How do you see, is this unity consciousness is going to be seen in this lifetime at least? And all these spiritual schools of thought, are they going to be integrated? And will the human beings be really elevated to this unity consciousness? So how do you see that, Swamiji?
I'm a very optimistic person, very optimistic. My Guruji taught me all the things. There are two ways. One is a darkness, dark part of it, and other part is a brightness. If there is no darkness, then there is no light. Why to only think about the negative or dark part? Yes, I think those crooked mind people, those who are thinking about a war or some kind of the fights or religious fights or whatever, they are at their level. Maybe their time will come, because negativity is also waiting for the salvation. So I'm very much a positive person, and I feel that all the countries, this awakening has started. I will not tell you that it will start, it has started. That is why all the countries, everywhere there is a spiritual practice. And that is why whenever I visit, at least I have been to more than I think 60 countries, and wherever this part comes, people, they come together. They want to come together, they want to share something, they want to tie your hand. I'm very happy with the young generation. The young generation are taking so much interest because they understand this is wrong and this is right. I should go towards that. I'm looking toward this part. This is a beautiful thing is happening. The young people, young children, they are taking so much interest. The yoga is a yuja dhatu, is a union. It is not only body, mind and soul. It is how one individual is connecting to the another person to the another person, because we are all one. It is only we are experiencing on the different level. So all the countries, unnecessary, that is what is the color, what is the caste, what is the creed, what is the religion, I feel humanity. And that is why on this bond 101% this will happen. And Yugandhar, you will be also there, I will be also there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Swamiji. You know, when we were talking about unity consciousness and all, many people called it can be only possible in dreams. It is possible. It is not going to be possible in reality. It is a utopic idea. It is only a hypocritical idea or a hypothetical idea. So we are much more positive to bring this unity consciousness by way of bringing all the wise people across the world in whatever in which way, be it pure spirituality, then inner awakening aspects, be it applied spirituality. Once we reach samadhi, maybe the spiritual wisdom will be reflected to the social reality. So we will take up so many things once samadhi state is reached. So it cannot be stopped. If samadhi is the end, where all the spiritual masters need to commit suicide. But there is no need. There is a role. There is a responsibility. That is to educate people, to inspire people, to awaken people. So many things are there. So many activities are there. So as a part of that applied spirituality, also we have categorized this event and the World United into different wings and themes, as spirituality for health, education, environment, youth and women empowerment, arts and culture, and so on and so forth. So how do you see the common man? How do you see common man who is absolutely not interested in any spiritual aspects? Absolutely not interested. Even when the greatest of the great most reputed, magnificent spiritual masters also say, awaken, they won't get awakened. As you told, there is always dark side of it, always the wicked side of it. How to actually positivize them, how to actually transform them? Is it going to be through an active intervention or through a passive intervention? Just working on those people who are ready to be ready for the knowledge, ready for the wisdom, ready for the practice, leaving them aside. So, what is your take on it? How to actually create the real harmony in the world? How to actually balance this dissidence, balance this violence, balance these people who always pull you down?
I would like to put in a different word the same thing. I studied Ramayana. In the Ramayana, there was a Valya Koli. He was a dacoit. And when the dacoit, when he was found difficult to say, it was a Mara Mara means to die, die, die. Mara is a die. So he used to chant Mara Mara Ram 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 Ram. And it converted into the Rama, and so many times he chanted Rama, so that automatically what happened, Sri Ramji came and blessed him, and the whole transformation came. This is a history, what we learn from our childhood, isn't it? Similar to that, in Maharashtra, there used to be a Santa Tukaram. The Santa Tukaram, he was a sansari, that is with his wife and the children, but he used to ignore family and used to talk about the Vittala, 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 Vittala so many times. So many times it happened that the wife became annoyed. Why you are only taking the name of this God again, again? You look at, we don't have anything to eat. Look at the children. And literally used to abuse Vittala. She used to abuse Vittala. The history says that the first glance of Vittala came not to Tukaram but to his wife. And similar, I would like to tell you that why we see that when somebody is not thinking about spirituality, let's keep the word spirituality aside. Everybody is born here to experience something. We cannot analyze them. We don't know what they are, what they will turn, what somebody has gone through in the childhood or afterward. The transformation comes at the right time. I visit many jail. And I find them when I give my speech and I talk to them. And one of the Ortho Road jail, in particularly in this Maharashtra, I said openly that I have not seen a disciplined people than you. They were so disciplined because what you have done, that is why you are inside this wall. There are so many people are doing crime because nothing has been proved. They are outside. I don't see much difference. You are just suffering. Who knows, I mean, afterwards the transformation will come in you. That time my moment was eye pledge. A big moment I had taken of eye pledge, that corneal blind. In India at least there are 33 lakhs and they can see the world. So when I started this movement of donating our this cornea, I got a lot of, and in that jail, when I appeal people that at least with one person can show the light to 4 member, because one cornea can show at least to 2 member the light. We have 2 eyes, a 4 member can see it. Believe me, Yugandhar, I got 100% result there. All these people, they filled a form and they donated their eyes. Don't you think if I appeal outside, people, they ask me thousands questions. So this is the difference between an intelligent, intellectual person and the people really, they are there, they really want to do something. Society should accept them with the love. After once they finish that, we should accept them. Yes, you and me, we are not different. How to hug, how to merge our heart with them. This is what I believe. So once again, I'm telling you, I'm very, very positive.
Yes. Thank you very much, Guruji. So thanks a lot for your wonderful insights about all these things, how this darkness can be converted, transformed into illumination and radiance. So here with I request Atma Nambiji. Guru Atma Nambiji is a wonderful master from the southern part of India. So Atma Nambiji, here with I've got a question for you. All the plants, all the animals feel themselves as a species, single species. Why not human beings? What is problem with human beings? And how to actually make them feel the way all the animals, all the plants, all the mineral kingdom feel. Why this oneness is absolutely lacking. The so-called intelligent person on this planet, human, why he's totally pocketed, why he's totally a problematic person. Instead of being a custodian of nature, protector of nature, he has become destroyed of nature. Instead of Rakshak, he has become a Bhakshak. So how to actually create this oneness, how to make these people understand or make them awaken to the reality of oneness? What's your take on it?
Yes, it's a wonderful contemplation to be. The birds are birds, the animals are animals, the trees. The nature kingdom is nature kingdom. There's no change at all. They live their own life. Because as I know, they have no other option, except to live as they are. But when it comes to human being, we have a lot of options, freedom, the so-called freedom. Actual freedom is totally different. But what most people think freedom is, we can function whatever way we want to function according to the mind. This is what most people understand. What about freedom? That is not freedom at all. I think first we have to clarify to our co-citizens that what is really freedom. We have to tell. Free from the mind is freedom. Free from ego is freedom. Free from all kind of discriminations is freedom. We have to explain to these people, our colleagues, this is what I feel. Because of the opportunity of many choices, we forget ourselves. We lost ourselves. This is what I feel. This is totally a misconception about oneself. The morning itself, I told about the one and the only way is to the self-knowledge and self-realization, nothing else. If we are collectively, massively realized together, we can also be superhuman. We can find superhumans in the world with full of oneness and love and get unconditional love and so on. And as a result only we can take care of the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, the nature, environment, and etc. Because we have no sensitivity, no sensitivity at all. We have to feel when you see a tree, we have to become the tree. We have to become the tree. When you see a bird, we have to become the bird. We have to sense as if the bird is sensing. That is lost. There is a big gap, complete disconnection from the rest of the species. This is a problem. As a result, this is one point. Another point, the money maniac. See, everything is based on money-based, not human-based or love-based. This is a problem, a great problem to this world. So this has to be changed, bringing more love to the world, more love in human being, more love in the heart. As a result, one can have the sensitivity, one can have the empathy, one can have the feeling of a tree, one can have the feeling of the bird, one can hear the feeling of the animals, the natures, and etc. Then there is a possibility of protecting them, and not only protecting and nurturing them and safeguarding them. Yes, thank you.
Guru Atmanambi. Now the present discussion is the path of self-mastery. When do you say that a person is on the path of self-mastery? When do you say that he has attained self-mastery? Is there a arrival point? Is there a point of destination? Is there a benchmark to say someone as a master or the greatest being, or we have arrived? No, the point. Is there a definable point, describable point?
Yes. Yes, there is a point. The moment one becomes a child again, reborn, that is self-mastery. That is the end of, that's an indication, that is a sign of self-mastery. So self-mastery means complete demolition of the ego. That's it. Once the ego is completely demolished and damaged, completely eradicated, mastery happens. Till such time, no possibility of mastery. One can be mastery in knowledge, one can be mastery in so many subjects, all kind of head. The head has to go. The heart has to come. The moment the heart is re-established, mastery is already there.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And people, as you are saying, the journey of spirituality is traveling from I-ness to is-ness.
Yes.
The head consciousness or the ego consciousness or
To
the I.
heart conscious.
Yeah. Has to the alphabet S has to be added to I. Is-ness has to be there. That's what
Yes.
great Kriya Yogi Lahiri Maharshi always says. You have to move from I-ness to is-ness.
Yes.
So, Sadhguru Mangesh Daji, Lahiri Maharshi also says, Bago nahi jago. So that was his always a favorite saying. So, but people are always running or chasing behind so many things, as Guru Atmanambi is saying, there are after so many mundane things, so many denser things, they are clinging towards all the objective things of the social reality. So this Jago aspect, you are very, very positive that people will definitely become more awakened. They will not run away, but definitely get awakened one day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And if I have to ask one last question to the two wonderful, magnificent beings here, Sadhguru Mangesh Daji and Guru Atmanambiji here. So if I ask one last question, we are thinking of the global, we have been discussing about the same repeatedly again and again, but again I will put one question. What is your take on what is this oneness all about? Is oneness togetherness or sameness or equanimity or equality? How we should understand this oneness, Sadhguru Mangesh Daji? If I were to speak in 1 or 2 lines. Unmute, please.
I see from the point of mirror. When we see all around, and if we make it as a habit, what is happening, everything will not happen as per our wish. It is, as you rightly said, that Lahiri Maharshi said, is how you are changing it. So to make that, if I put the glass in between, if it is a transparent glass, I see the other things. But if I put a mirror, then always I see myself. So if the good things are happening, I see that, I remove the mirror, I keep only the clean glass, a transparent glass. And when something is not happening, I see only the mirror, let it be, because as already I said that other person and me, we are not different. Maybe I think that particular time I feel that higher energy is watching everything, and this is a game. Let them go on the planet Earth, let them have this kind of a situation and how they deal with it. So it is basically the process with everybody is learning, everybody is there. We are a part of the water, because every drop of water we can see the whole sea, and we are all there. Basically we are all there, all the rivers, everything is coming into the huge ocean of this spirituality. So spirit has already started, process has started, and I'm positive, definitely I think the day will come when everybody will understand it. Because ultimately, after trying these or whatever the way, ultimately they will come that we really need something which is a beautiful form of unconditional love. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sadhguru Mangesh Daji. Guru Atmanambiji, what is your take about how we should understand this oneness all about? We are calling all the beings other than humans as sentient beings. Sentient means that you speak with feelings, as the language of expression, as the language of soul. When it comes to human beings, we are called as Homo sapiens, sapient beings. Sapient being means those people who think, analyze, assess, evaluate, measure everything, and do with the help of mind or intellect. So maybe we don't have oneness because of this sapient nature, and how this sapient nature is going to be converted into sentient nature of all these animals and plants. How do you understand? How do we understand oneness all about? How you want people to understand this oneness all about? Is it togetherness, acting, working together, coming together, joining together, the sameness, and how you want to express this oneness, and how you want to make people understand this oneness, and how you want people to awaken to the frequency of oneness?
Yes. This oneness frequency is the ultimate frequency of all the frequencies that we know. this oneness frequency has to be gained. In most people, it is not existing as they are born. It has to be gained, it has to be earned through our life, through our holistic living, through our spiritual living, through our practices and sadhanas, etc. Once the person has got that oneness experience of oneness, living in oneness, then there is a great radiation of that around miles and miles and miles. So why not the whole nation and the whole world also? Like Gautama the Buddha, he attained to that oneness, right? In the name of enlightenment, whatever they call nirvana. But it is oneness. He experienced oneness. He got it under a tree. Afterwards, abundance of love, abundance of unconditional love start radiating around. Still it is happening. This is the best example. Like there are much more examples like that. So everybody should become a Buddha. That's the only way to establish oneness on this earth. No other way. Mere talking about oneness is really won't help much. It is just an acting, you know. How long one can act? How long one can pretend to be a kind man or a lovable man? You know, one day the show will go off. So if you really want to establish, one has to experience the oneness. It's an experience, you know, and living. It's a living matter. It's not something, a subject which can be taught to somebody, which can be taught. It is not possible. You know, many things, teachings are possible, except the oneness, love, etc. This has to be earned by oneself, you know. Of course, when it comes to society, what we can do is we can just take away the discrimination. What is this identification? Identifying in the name of nation, in the name of religion, in the name of color, in the name of DNA, and etc., 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 etc. They're all just peripheries. Why we are so keen on peripheries? Why can't we connect with the center to center? Why to connect from periphery to periphery? When you start connecting from periphery to periphery, it's a contrast, you know. Your color is different, my color is different. The color of cloth that everyone wears is also different. So there is no point in relating with the peripheries to periphery. This is a clash going on in the world. They are all just for some other purposes, maybe for a little identification somewhere, maybe useful for some other purposes, small purposes. So it won't help much, the peripheral relationships. The relationship should happen from center to center. Always oneness is in the center. Oneness is not in the periphery. It is in the center. So as a result, we can demolish all the discrimination, just canceling all the discrimination of the religions and colors and caste and so many things, you know. It has to go away completely. So we have to be, you have to be naked completely to relate and spread this oneness through the world, working together, connecting together, loving together, relating together, the togetherness. This is what WPS is already doing, you know.
So, thank you very much, sir. And
thank you.
The first World Parliament on Spirituality was manifested on this earth plane in the year 2012.
Yes.
And it ended on 21st December 2012, which was supposed to be the doomsday, 8 years back, because of the so many prophecies that were in the air, because of the end of the Mayan calendar. So we made it, we marked it as the beginning of a new era. So
Till we are alive, the whole world is alive.
The same old
I
questions
remember those
problems are there.
All kind of false beliefs, going on. Even today, there is a rumor that because of the conjunction of the planet Saturn and Jupiter, some people keep on spreading the rumors that today the earth is going to be shaken. But I'm waiting for the earthquake today. Nothing happens. Maybe in the evening because of the mass meditation, not because of the conjunction.
Yeah, definitely earth is shaking with the insights each one of you are expressing. The frequency of this planet is changing.
Yes.
So today, that is 21st December, which is a solstice day. is
Yeah.
supposed to be or believed to be promulgated to be a very powerful day as far as spiritual awakening is
Yeah.
concerned, whether it is rumor or whatever it may be. But we have given a clarion call from the World United. We have given a clarion call, a big call to the world for all the people who think themselves as meditators to participate for 1 hour from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time today,
Yeah. Yeah.
wherever they are, in whichever time zone they are. So many people, in the Third World Parliament, which we are doing continent-wise this year, more than 1,000 speakers participated from
Okay.
Australasia to Europe, Southern North America, Africa, and now is the last event of the series. We are on the third day of the World Parliament on Spirituality. So today, 21st December, we want to have this mass meditation. Our aim is to have at least 100 million people. We have generated a lot of energy across the world. I'm also inviting you personally, both Gurujis, to lead
Sure.
in place of your stay, to all your followers, your
Yes.
disciples, students, and all
Yes.
your
Yes.
near and dear.
We,
So that
we,
our collective energy
we
can be much more.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is my request and invitation as well.
I already shared this to our social media people, our friends all over the world. Yes, they are waiting for 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.